Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. What if I told you the most powerful recovery ritual for your aging body isn't some expensive pill, a complicated procedure, or a prescription? What if it's literally sitting in your kitchen right now? Yeah, not hidden in a pharmacy bottle, not behind a doctor's counter, and definitely not pushed in late-night TV commercials. It's just quietly waiting there in a dark glass bottle labeled extra virgin olive oil. Now look, we all know olive oil is the rock star of the Mediterranean diet, right? But while I was diving into the source material for this, I was absolutely blown away to discover what actually happens when you consume it intentionally, right at the exact time your body is designed to repair itself. But before we look at exactly how this works, I want you to just pause and ask yourself a question. Honestly, how old are you right now? And what is the single biggest health concern that's worrying you the most? Seriously, is it your sleep, maybe your heart, your memory, or maybe you're dealing with stubborn joint pain or just constant fatigue? Whatever it is, I want you to hold that specific worry right at the front of your mind as we go through this, because what we are about to cover directly intersects with pretty much all of these issues.
You see, this completely shifts our whole understanding of the night. Most of us just kind of think of sleep as this passive state, right? Like you're just resting, shutting down like a laptop. But actually, that is a huge myth. Nighttime is literally a highly active state of biological reconstruction. While you're fast asleep, your brain is working overtime clearing out toxic waste. Your muscles are actively repairing microscopic damage. Your liver is hard at work regulating cholesterol, and your immune system is busy recalibrating inflammation levels. It's not a shutdown, it's a critical, highly active repair shift.
But here's the really uncomfortable truth about what happens to this amazing repair system after age 60. Those vital functions, well, they just don't fire the way they used to. You start experiencing much lighter sleep, inflammation quietly creeps up in the background, your blood sugar starts fluctuating overnight, muscle loss suddenly accelerates, and you probably start noticing a lot more of that morning joint stiffness. And man, it is incredibly frustrating. But listen to me, your body is not failing you. It's just missing the right metabolic signals and nutrients at the precise time it needs them the most. And believe it or not, that missing signal is extra virgin olive oil. It turns out extra virgin olive oil is absolutely packed with polyphenols. These are incredibly powerful plant compounds that interact directly with your body's inflammation pathways, your blood vessels, and even your brain cells. And when you consume them right before bed, these compounds circulate during your body's most critical repair window. So tonight, we're going to count down the top benefits of this, nocturnal alchemy. And I promise you, by the time we wrap this up, you are going to see this basic pantry staple in a completely different light.
Let's kick things off with benefit 7, deep sleep.
So why exactly does our sleep fragment so much for adults over 65? Well, it's not always just stress or anxiety keeping you tossing and turning. When you really dive into the data, the most common hidden driver is actually low-grade brain inflammation, also known as neuroinflammation. You can kind of think of this like a low-burning fire inside the brain. It's not intense enough to cause obvious symptoms during the day, but at night, it is absolutely enough to disrupt your natural melatonin production. And let me tell you, counting sheep is definitely not going to help if there's a low-burning fire inside your brain, preventing you from entering those deep, slow-wave sleep stages where the true restorative repair actually happens. And the real-world consequence of that low-burning fire is, it's frustratingly specific. If you constantly find yourself jolted awake at exactly 2 a.m. or 3:17 a.m. or 4:40 a.m., neuroinflammation is very often the culprit. Basically, your body's desperately trying to rest, but the internal inflammatory environment just keeps interrupting your sleep cycles. So yeah, no midnight fridge raids required to wreck your sleep. Now, this is where it gets really cool. I was absolutely fascinated to learn that extra virgin olive oil contains a remarkable compound called oleocanthal. What this does is it actively inhibits inflammatory enzymes in a way that's actually very similar to certain anti-inflammatory medications, but entirely without those harsh side effects. If you've ever tasted a really high-quality olive oil and you actually coughed a little bit from that sharp, peppery bite at the back of your throat, I always thought that was just, part of the flavor profile. But no, that physical sensation is literally the oleocanthal at work. And actually, if there's no peppery bite, it usually means the oil has a really low polyphenol content. So quality really, really matters here. Because of that, the protocol is incredibly simple. We are talking about just 1 tablespoon, just 1 tablespoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil about 30 minutes before bed. By doing this consistently, you're essentially handing your brain the exact anti-inflammatory support it needs right before it transitions into its repair cycle, which can significantly reduce those frustrating nighttime awakenings.
Moving right along to benefit 6, heart defects.
Look, while getting better sleep is obviously fantastic, what this routine does for your heart overnight is honestly profound. If we look at the timeline of our biological night shift, the highest risk window for cardiac events is actually right between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. You might be wondering, why is that? Well, around midnight, your liver kicks off its lipid regulation process. By 3 a.m., that cardiac risk window officially opens up as your blood pressure and cortisol levels naturally start to rise. And then by 6 a.m., your arteries are at their absolute stiffest point and inflammatory markers are peaking. So taking olive oil right before bed, it's exactly like handing a night shift crew their best tools right before they clock in, helping them perfectly regulate your cholesterol during these incredibly vulnerable hours. And that brings us to a really striking number, 73. You see, extra virgin olive oil is roughly 73% oleic acid. This is a very specific type of monounsaturated fat that plays a massive, massive role in cardiovascular defense as we get older. But the crucial point here is what that oleic acid actually does in your body. It specifically goes after and reduces oxidized LDL cholesterol. Think of oxidation kind of like rust forming on your body's internal plumbing. After age 70, your arterial elasticity just naturally declines, and this rusted LDL cholesterol embeds itself much more easily right into your blood vessel walls. And notice how I said oxidized LDL, not just your total LDL. Oxidized LDL is the actual main driver of plaque formation in aging stiff arteries. By making sure you have oleic acid circulating right before your liver's metabolic window opens, you are directly combating this dangerous oxidation process. This basically kicks off this brilliant biological chain reaction. First off, the polyphenols in the olive oil go to work improving your endothelium, which is that super delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. Now, healthier endothelium naturally leads to step 2, much better nitric oxide production. And that in turn brings us right to step 3, better vessel relaxation. And finally, better vessel relaxation means lower, significantly safer nighttime blood pressure spikes. For adults in their 70s and 80s, this isn't just a fun fact. This is deeply practical, absolutely vital protection. So we've just seen how a simple tablespoon of high-quality olive oil before bed can provide better sleep, better arterial flexibility, and noticeably reduced overnight inflammation. But guys, we are only at number 6 in our countdown. Just think about the sheer amount of incredible biological reconstruction happening inside you every single night. Which brings me to a final question I want to leave you with today. Considering what it does for your brain and your heart, what do you think happens to your joints while you sleep? Well, we'll be exploring exactly that in the next phase of our countdown. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and as always, stay curious.